Last week on Take One, the new ESI building, happiness hotlines, and Smasher Pass BSU Building Edition. This week, revisiting the Don't Say Gay bill, Amazon unions, and just for laughs, the Batman and April Fool's Day. These stories and more up next on Take One. Welcome to Take One, I'm Preston Pfau. In an exciting victory for labor movements across the U.S., an Amazon warehouse in Staten Island, New York, has officially voted to unionize. This win follows a years-long campaign by Amazon Labor Union, a grassroots organization founded by rapper-turned-organizer Christian Smalls. The news also comes as the online retailer faces frequent accusations of abusive and exploitative business practices at fulfillment centers. Over the last few years, Amazon whistleblowers have brought to light the company's habits of denying employees breaks, forcing workers into inhumanely long shifts, ousting long-term employees in favor of fresh faces, forcing unsafe COVID practices, suppressing pay rates, wage theft, and in one particularly memorable scandal, forcing delivery drivers to urinate in water bottles. In response to these conditions, Smalls, a former supervisor, began organizing to build collective bargaining power for living wages, company transparency, job security, and better work conditions. Union efforts have not been without opposition, however. Amazon campaigned against the ALU at the location, allegedly putting up vote no posters and having private meetings with staff to convince them to oppose the union. This isn't the first time they have clashed with union organizing either, as just last year, a workplace election at an Alabama facility was invalidated by the National Labor Relations Board after Amazon themselves set up a mailbox in the parking lot for ballots. But while organizers celebrated the win outside the Staten Island warehouse, Christian Smalls had a message to reporters for Amazon's CEO, saying, quote, "We want to thank Jeff Bezos for going to space because while he was up there, we were organizing a union." Now, Christy, what's been going on in the sports world at Boise State this past week?
Thanks, Preston. Welcome back to your Broncos Sports Update. I'm Christy Amstutz, and I'm filling in for Jennifer and Monty this week. But don't worry, she'll be back for more Broncos Sports Updates soon. Last week, Boise State Athletic Director Jeremiah Dickey announced a big Albertson Stadium update coming next season. Thanks to a $4.5 million donation, the South End Zone video board will be increased to roughly 120 feet by 50 feet. When completed, the new board will be the largest in the Mountain West, and it is expected to be finished during the 2022 season. Bronco Beach Volleyball hosted the Boise State Beach Classic this weekend and went undefeated in their 4 matches against Washington, Oregon, Colorado Mesa, and Washington again. With 2 weekend tournaments left in the season, the Broncos have already set a program record with 16 victories and only 8 losses. Their next matches will be April 8th and 9th at the Sacramento State Tournament. Good luck with the rest of your season, ladies, and as always, go Broncos. Now over to you, Skylar.
Thanks, Christy. I didn't really want to come back to this story, but it appears more progress has been made to pass the controversial and harmful Don't Say Gay bill. The bill coming out of Florida was recently signed by Governor Rick DeSantis. However, teachers in Florida are fighting back. A letter has started to be sent out to parents from teachers that mocks the bill and shows how malicious compliance is often the best form of karma. The letter reads, "Dear Florida parent/caretaker, the Florida House of Representatives has recently ruled that classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students. To be in accordance with this policy, I will no longer be referring to your student with gendered pronouns. All students will be referred to as they or them. I will no longer use a gendered title such as Mr. or Mrs. or make any references to my husband/wife in the classroom. From now on, I will be using the non-gendered title, mix. Furthermore, I will be removing all books or instruction which refer to a person being a mother, father, husband, or wife, as these are gender identities that may also allude to sexual orientation. Needless to say, all books which refer to a character as he or she will also be removed from the classroom. If you have any concerns about this policy, please feel free to contact your local congressperson." Beautiful. Now, Let's go out onto campus to see what Daniel is up to.
All right, thanks, Skylar. Well, today I'm going to do something a little different. We're not smashing or passing anything. I'm just going to ask, can you fry chicken in a hydro flask? Today, I got with me David. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. So tell me, do you think you can fry chicken in one of these?
Honestly, I think that you could because, metal's probably strong enough to keep, the deep frying oil in. And you know what? If you get that stuff hot enough and then pour it in a hydro flask, throw some chicken in there, probably work out.
What's your method for frying the chicken in here?
I mean, honestly, like I said, start off with the oil, deep frying, fries. I don't have a deep fryer, but I mean, obviously get a deep fryer if you're going to do this. And then, boil the water to a certain amount, however much it needs to go to fry stuff. And then, safely try to pour it into a hydro flask. And, dude, throw the chicken in there and just check on it every 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so. Probably work out. I don't know if it tastes very well, but
I think it would taste pretty better or worse than KFC?
Worse. KFC is pretty good.
Ooh, you heard it here. Well, that answers that question. Now let's send it over to the Smash studio.
Fried chicken in a hydro flask.
Fried chicken, not any kind of water bottle, a hydro flask.
No, yeah. How does that even work? Do you drop it in? I feel like it'd explode.
Exactly.
And it'd ruin all the stickers on your hydro.
Yeah. Would you ever fry chicken in a hydro flask?
Yeah, just to see what
Just
it's
see what
like. It's
happens.
like Pepto's in a Coke bottle.
What about beef? Would you fry beef in a hydro flask?
Beef.
Beef.
Are
Like
you supposed
chicken
to
fried
grill
steak.
beef?
Well, you're not supposed to cook chicken in a hydro flask.
Yeah, beef. Speaking of beef, well, every year, big companies try to prey on the unsuspecting when April 1st comes around. This year was no different, with HyperX announcing their new Grass keyboard for a new tactical experience. After all, when April's got you trapped inside writing essays, you'll still have some of that outside world with you. Or, you get a plant or two. Omaha Steaks gave us Meat Sweats deodorant in 3 amazing flavors: original beef, lighter fluid, and mesquite. Although Sonny's Barbecue might have won that war with their pulled pork antiperspirant, which seems like a real winner to me. The National Weather Service converted all of their temperatures to Kelvin because, well, they got tired of telling everyone what the difference between Fahrenheit and Celsius is. And lastly, the toy brand Little Tykes is making big plans to prepare kids for the future with their first cubicle set. There's even a water cooler so that parents can prepare their toddlers for small talk around the newest episode of Law & Order. Well, hopefully you weren't duped this year by all the April Fool's jokes, but I guess there's always next year, huh?
At the beginning of March, Matt Reeves' The Batman hit theaters. Robert Pattinson plays Bruce Wayne, while Catwoman is played by Zoe Kravitz. With an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, the film has delighted critics and audiences alike. And, well, here's the world's reception of it. After watching the movie, you're going to leave the theater either being attracted to Zoe Kravitz or firmly on Team Edward. Robert Pattinson's Batman has been joked about as coming across as emo, with the straight hair and the black eyeliner, but audiences are definitely eating it up. After this, Robert Pattinson is totally back as a white boy of the month. And someone even commented on Twitter saying that he pulls off playing Batman, but Christian Bale could never play Edward Cullen. Opening weekend, a live bat was spotted in a theater in Austin, Texas. The movie was put on pause as animal control struggled to escort the animal out of the building. The audiences were offered back their money, but most chose to stay and watch the film, bat and all.
Well, I would say his Batman is quite emo, but I
He's
can't
very
hate
emo.
on it because it was inspired by Kurt Cobain. So
rock star.
it's punk. It's punk. Plus, Batman, he's got mommy and daddy issues, so it only makes sense, right?
It's true, it fits.
Yeah.
It
With
fits.
mommy and daddy issues, we're going to send it over to Madeline and Jordan at the Love Shack.
Hello and welcome back
To the Love Shack.
You might be thinking, what could these girls possibly be talking about this time? But don't worry, we have something for you.
Yeah, we did have some problems coming up with stuff.
Yeah,
to talk
it's been
about.
hard, but we got it. And we're talking about your ex.
Most importantly, your ex on social media.
So, Madeline, what's the first thing you do when you are talking to a guy?
I immediately stalk them and I look through all of their Instagram photos. I look for any girls and I look at the captions. And if they say like, happy 1 year, happy 2 years, it's a little bit worrisome.
Right. We're just looking for the yellow flags, the red flags, what's what. So let's define them. What would be like a yellow, reddish flag?
if within this past year, maybe more specifically the past 6 months, they posted a happy 1 year or formal with this hottie or.
But see, here's my thing. What about posts that are like special events? Like I have a picture of my ex back from 2015, but it was my first homecoming ever.
Okay, so I think very monumental moments in one's life, specifically prom, homecoming, even like if you got a full ride scholarship to a college and there's like 3 photos of you and your friends, but there's also one with like a guy and his girlfriend, I feel like I wouldn't be as offended because it's kind of hard to delete.
So it's
you
a
don't
green
want to delete
flag.
that. Yes.
Or is it just a blurry flag?
I don't think that. I think it's a green flag.
Okay.
I think it's very situational, but I agree. Like if it's a specific moment in their life and they don't want to delete that off of Instagram, maybe change the caption.
Right.
Maybe we have a happy medium.
The edit button.
We
you can definitely
change
use
it to
just good times.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, this
something.
doesn't like keep me from talking to somebody, but it definitely brings up some questions of like, do you still like them? Like, why are you?
But bottom line,
when it comes down to it, it's all about you and the other person. We don't know your relationship, so either you're hating that or you're loving it.
but
and
follow your gut. That's really what it comes down to.
Follow your gut, and if it's a healthy relationship, you will be fine.
So hopefully we actually gave you guys some real advice this time.
And we'll see you next time. We're gonna send it over to 360 Studio now.
Thanks, Madeline and Jordan. The American Library Association announced this week that there have been more ban requests against books than they have ever seen before. Last year, the ALA's Office for Intellectual Freedom noted that 156 books were challenged. But this year, over 1,000 challenges were made against library, school, and university materials. ALA President Patricia Wong made a statement saying, "We support individual parents' choices concerning their child's reading and believe that parents should not have those choices dictated by others. Young people need to have access to a variety of books from which they can learn about different perspectives." While the ALA is fighting to keep the censorship of books limited, they face another issue on the rise called silent censorship. Silent censorship refers to when individuals take it upon themselves to make sure that books cannot be found in libraries, meaning hiding them in drawers, taking them off the shelves, or tossing them out completely. At the top of the list of ALA's 10 most challenged books list this year is Genderqueer by Maya Kobabe. The book was originally published in 2019 and was challenged due to LGBT+ content and sexually explicit images. However, Genderqueer is set to be reissued in May and will allow readers to engage with the inspiring memoir of Kobabe's journey through gender identity and self-discovery. And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you to all the crew and writers for this episode. I'm Preston Pfau.
I'm Skylar Nations.
And I'm Christy Amsteds. Join us next time for one more episode this semester. We'll see you next time on Take One.